Well, hi, good morning. I'm Paige, layle, and I talk about autism and stuff. This stuff is, I'm gonna go over I'm gonna go over a lot of different therapies for autistic people. As autistic people, one of the things that I know I struggle with the most, and we probably all do in some capacity, is sensory issues and keeping our body regulated. Speaking of sensory regulation, I've got something that can help you out. I'm partnering with Balesa today, and we're doing a huge giveaway, so stay tuned to the end to hear how you can enter. Balesa is a by women company for all things sexual wellness. Sexual wellness written by women? That's wild. I'm gonna show you these two cuties. So we got the Pebble here. As you can see, it is ergonomically designed to fit into your hand. And the suction and vibration are controlled independent of each other. Then we've got, oh man, ladies and gentlemen, her. This is the Air Vibe Pro. It's got that dual stimulation going on there. It also comes with a remote, and it's silent, but deadly, and it's waterproof. Balesa's mission is to empower everyone to embrace, explore, and celebrate their sexuality. So we are literally sending out free vibrators and free gift cards to vibrators to every person who signs up in the giveaway with the link below. So make sure you click the link in the description to sign up ASAP. And if you know that touching yourself is like, it can be sensory regulating, for real. Like, not even necessarily sexual all the time. It's proprioceptive, obviously physical. Pressure can be nice. It's easier to do it to yourself than have someone else do it to you because, you know, it's expected touch. Anyway, I'm an adult and I can talk about masturbation. Before we get into this, I just want to say that I'm not a doctor. I'm no medical profession. I'm nobody. I'm actually just an autistic person who's had a life of autism. And I've been to a lot of these therapies. I'm not giving any recommendations, okay? I don't know you. I don't know your situation. I can't recommend anything. Talk to your doc. Talk to your medical peeps. They'll get into, you know, the jargon. I will be sharing information based off my own experiences and off of information that I found on the internet and I am gathering into one video. And also just to note, I'm not going to go over medications because there's so many medications and that's like a whole thing within itself. So I'm just going to talk about therapies. And ABA therapy is at the end. Haha, stick around. Just a reminder that I do have a free ebook that you can download right now that is 60 ways of accommodating autistic people. If anyone wants a head start or doesn't know where to go, or your grandparents or whatever, just go to the link below in the description, shop.pagelayle.ca/free, where you can download it and it'll be sent to your email. Starting off with occupational therapy. So I'm going to start off by telling you the level of schooling that you need to practice this thing, because I think that's important. And then you kind of know the mindset of the practitioner. An occupational therapist has either a master's or a doctorate. And actually that's like, you can get like either. And then there's all the board certifications, etc. All those exams. So they're like qualified in psychology, anatomy, human behavior, development. Occupational therapists work with people all over the lifespan or all different kinds of disabilities. Lots of people could benefit from an occupational therapist. So occupation just means like your day-to-day tasks, like the things that you do in life. And an occupational therapist just kind of helps you do those things. So aside from autistic reasons why someone would go here, if you have an accident and you have to move different parts of your body differently, or like life is just different now. Suddenly you're paraplegic and now you need to know how you're going to use the toilet. An occupational therapist could help with that. Or a new prosthetic, or Parkinson's. Occupational therapists can provide tools to help do the task. An occupational therapist just watches and provides as much as they can to make doing the tasks easier. It's a very holistic approach to things. Holistic, I actually Googled. I'm like, okay, what does that actually mean? And holistic means treating parts as if they are connected to the entire whole. What? Why is not everything holistic? I don't understand. Is that weird to know and think that everything's connected? But it's very individualized. It's usually at a center because there's usually a lot of equipment and a lot of fun equipment, to be honest. Every video that I've ever seen from occupational therapists and occupational therapy looks like fun. It looks like fun. And as an adult watching, I can see the skills being built. But as a child, I'd be like, oh, this is helpful. This is how I learned to do the things at the skill set that I'm at, to be honest. I've never done occupational therapy, but it looks fun. And every occupational therapist that I've ever met has made me feel really safe and made my inner child feel really good. And actually, some have made me cry because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. And I would have liked that so much as a child. The goal of this, of course, is to do tasks easier, but also in autistic people and in autistic kids a lot, not being able to do stuff is frustrating. And so it also is emotional regulation, and sensory regulation is a big thing. Next, we're gonna talk about physical therapy, and only because people talk about physical therapy in relation to occupational therapy, and I hear some people saying like, my autistic kid is going to physical therapy. And I'm like, okay, That's great, but that's not the only therapy, right? So I'm just going to explain what physical therapy is. Schooling, master's, and then you got to get the board certification, whatever. This is something that I almost did. My undergrad that I didn't finish was in kinesiology, and then from kin, like a physio is 2 years, and then you pass the board and you're good to go. So a physiotherapist knows a lot about anatomy and how the body should move. And they specifically give you either exercises or stretches to do to increase the strength in a certain part or increase the flexibility in a certain part. So I'm really bringing this up because a lot of autistic people have or are going to or end up possibly developing comorbid disorders that affect our physical form, that affect our posture, that affect our gait, that affect like even pooping. Over time, we may start using different muscles than we're supposed to be using in this body, and that can cause like a lot of pain and discomfort. And so I'm just bringing it up because some people, especially older autistics, may really benefit from physical therapy. It's just a side thing, like even just checking and seeing if you are using the proper muscles to hold yourself up, if you're engaging the proper muscles to walk. Because it's really common that we're not actually. If you find that you're getting like sore as you get older, physiotherapy may be beneficial. I'm not recommending anything. Don't sue me, please. Speech language pathology. Pathology, like I just don't like that word. Pathogen. Speech language pathogen. So a speech language pathologist has their master's and then has to go through like clinical being in there for real and get certified in all the boards, whatever. SLPs are experts on communication. And I think that they're also experts on like the mouth and how the mouth works because they do a lot of stuff. So they do a lot of speech sounds, putting words together, literacy, like an understanding words, being able to communicate your thoughts and feelings to other people, social communication. They also work on fluency and on your voice, if you're like screaming, and even things like work in memory and attention. They also can help with oral function, so helping with chewing and swallowing, sucking, blowing, maybe even talking, because sometimes it is physical. Autism affects like our whole self. It's not mental, but it is. It is in my mental. It's developmental, but sure, but it's also physical. It's also emotional. It's embedded into who I am. It's in my nervous system. It is my nervous system. My nervous system is autistic. Like it's a whole different nervous system. So SLPs don't only just work with autistic people. They also work with people with Alzheimer's, people that have had a stroke. They'll work with people with muscular dystrophy. And sometimes it's just finding ways of communication that work for the kid. But I think that every kid deserves to be understood by others, to have people that understand them. And so I think that this can be really important. Play therapy. So to be a play therapist, you go through a course. It's like a course. It's like a little thing. And then, you know, you got to graduate the course and then you're a play therapist. Play therapy is child-led playing. And through play, the therapist can help determine the person's thoughts and feelings. But like, you know, the way that you play and the patterns, whatever, like you can see. And also talk to each other. You're playing with a kid. Play with a kid for hours. Or anyone, but probably kids. And in that regard, a play therapist can help with communication, can help with regulation, can find sensory sensitivities that are going on. If a kid plays with you, that usually means they trust you. So kids are going to be able to open up more and be more of themselves. And altering play to make it more about like cognitive development, more problem solving, challenging in some ways. Yeah, I read about this and I'm like, that is my fucking, I'm supposed to be doing that, I think. I'm so good at that. Looks like a freaking fun time. Looks like a fun time. And they're trying to get as many people as possible to be play therapists, or not as many people as possible, but like they would like a lot of play therapists because a lot of autistic kids need help. So that's why it's just a course. I can see that. Like, I feel like I could be a really good play therapist right now, and I've had zero training. So I think like, I don't know. I didn't know that AAT was the acronym for animal assisted therapy. I'm like, is that a course? Nope. No, you do have to get your master's. They said animals, master. Kids? Yeah. Why animal therapy? Why animal assisted therapy? Because usually autistic people are so much more relaxed and regulated around animals, for one. Animals have a way of communicating that we understand. In animal therapy, the client may take care of the animal. They may groom the animal. So it's usually horses too, I will say. Or a lot of the time it's horses. So that could be like grooming the horse, riding the horse, cleaning up after the horse. It's almost like therapeutic and mindfulness and a sense of like relaxation, a sense of like purpose. This is what we're doing. A lot of autistic people can find animal therapy really centering, really grounding, and something also to look forward to and a nice routine. Now I got two that I'm going to do kind of side by side to compare because they're like kind of similar. And these are two of like my heaviest therapies. These are my boys. These are my boys. Jeez, have I done these. We're talking about CBT and DBT. What is that? Cognitive behavioral therapy and dialectical behavioral therapy. So in both cases, it's a therapist, someone who has their master's in likely psychology or something kind of related. And DBT comes from CBT. So I'm going to talk about cognitive behavioral therapy and what that is. So cognition, it's the idea that your thoughts and your feelings and your behavior are all connected. Could you say holistic? Could you say that's holistic? In CBT, you work to find negative thought patterns and cognitive distortions. So just like distortions in your thinking, and then replacing those with like more neutral ones. It's a lot about your thoughts and having neutral thoughts. And cognitive distortions include things like catastrophizing or fortune telling, mind reading. This was really helpful for my ruminating thoughts, and I realized that I was fortune telling and mind reading like all of the time. And personally, it's helped me being in the present. I think being like, no, this is what's actually happening and you don't have superpowers. So, you know, in a way also, I think it kind of was helpful with my OCD. And CBT is actually used across all the boards. It's pretty generic. It's used with OCD, PTSD, anxiety. It's been proven to work or help all ages. The goal is to find the problem or whatever and then work to building skills to be able to cope with it. You write a lot of stuff down. You look at your thoughts, you notice them, you write them down, and you break them down a lot. It's a bit of homework. People get turned off by that. So then DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, comes from CBT, but it also includes mindfulness and acceptance. Oh. So DBT works to validate emotions alongside managing change. So it's the balance between acceptance and change. I'm autistic, count me in. I don't know about you. Hearing like accepting and change and together, I'm like, whoa, those are two things that I need. So it was initially created for people with borderline personality disorder, which I think is just a telltale sign why it works for so many people, like people that are struggling with substance abuse, people that have eating disorders, people that are self-harming, because it's really just about emotional regulation. And it works to build your self-worth and your self-confidence to feel like you deserve it too, and you should do these things for yourself. It's cool. So there's mindfulness, and so that does look like meditation sometimes, and that can turn people off too. I will say, if I didn't do a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy before dialectical behavioral therapy, there's no way that I would have continued, because I would have been so frustrated by not being able to meditate. Now I can meditate a little bit. In my book, But Everyone Feels This Way, I talk about how I'm pretty sure that meditation is just the space between having thoughts, and the more you practice, the greater that space gets. But it is a practice thing. No one's good at meditation when they start, especially the people that need meditation. If you got a fast brain like we do, you're not going to be good at meditation. But that's the thing. There is no being good at it. There's only practice. There's only trying to be in the moment. So these are all like individual sessions. You can even do group sessions, a lot of consulting, and just the therapist validating you and being like, yeah, this is how things are. And it sucks. What am I going to do next? I think both were super helpful for me, specifically in the moments maybe that I needed them. I really was frustrated a bit with CBT when I was going through it, but I think that's when I stopped. It was when I got everything I needed out of it. CBT was like a piece of the puzzle. I'm like, okay, this is helpful for a bit. And that little bit of help made DBT easier. It made everything else easier than just like talk therapy. Not helpful. CBT, I'm like, okay, this is good. I definitely needed this, but I need more. DBT, I'm like, okay, this is good. I need this. I had a really positive experience with DBT. It's something that I really enjoy, and I'm not currently doing therapy now because I have to pay for it, and I don't want to do like talk therapy. I feel like I'm not too bad right now, but DBT is my favorite kind of like this kind of therapy, you know? This next one's called TEACH, TEACCH, and I'd never heard of it before. What is this acronym? Treatment and Education of Autistic and Related. There's no R in TEACH. TEACH. Communication Handicapped Children. Well, that's HC. Anyway, so it's not actually a therapy. It's a way of being. It's like a course that other people take to know how to educate an autistic person. So a few of the primary principles in TEACH are structure, routine structure, daily structure, class structure, physical structure, like the environment doesn't change, the seat doesn't change, the person knows what's happening every single day, there isn't disruptions to routine. They also modify the environment to suit the individual and what the individual needs. It's very individualized, and also it's very collaborative. So anyone really could become like TEACH certified. They actually recommend parents do, and then like doctors, teachers, lots of people can become TEACH certified. There's also a lot of visual supports. There's a lot of like task organization, schedules, visually, so there's not a lot of, all that shit to worry about. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen it implemented in real life. I actually am really interested in this after I've researched a little bit about it. I'm like, okay, I kind of want to see more about this and see how popular it is and how it's implemented and what like kind of results are we talking about? Like, how is it working? Are kids feeling good? Are they feeling better? Because it seems like, I mean, all of those words sound cool. And finally, ABA therapy. So who's teaching ABA? If you've got a BCBA, they've got a bachelor's, they've got a master's in any area, and then it's a certification process. You got to be certified in all the places. Now, a registered behavioral technician, an RBT, has a high school diploma and a 40-hour training program, and then they pass the exam. RBT kind of sounds like the play therapy kind of vibe. BCBA, school, you know what I'm saying? So the point of ABA is to redirect troubling behaviors into more desirable ones. These are a lot of the words that they say. I personally don't think that there's much desirable behavior. Personally, those aren't words that I would use, but those aren't things that I would go for personally. Sorry, I'm just like, I just need to let you know, like, these words coming out of my mouth I don't like. In ABA, it's a lot of experimenting and assessing. Prompting, hand over hand, redirecting, positive reinforcement. In ABA, one learns how to act in a way that is socially acceptable. Like how to act in a way where other people won't look and stare at you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's not their words. Those are my words, I think. Those are my words. It teaches self-control. It teaches self-regulation, transferring behaviors to new environments and doing it in all the different environments, reducing self-harm. And now I hit on ABA quite a bit. I do. Because I don't think it's like there's so much more than behavior, you know? Behaviorism, like ABA, applied behavior analysis, is not holistic, I would say. I would say not holistic. I think that's accurate. As much as I hit on it, I will say if I were a parent of an autistic child who was constantly banging their head on the wall and seriously hurting themselves, and I didn't know what to do, and like there's no way, like if I had an autistic child who couldn't even sit down to listen to somebody talk to them about stuff, like if I had an autistic child who couldn't do any of the other therapies, which I don't know. I don't know if I had a child in that much distress, I don't know. I still think you can help like reduce self-harming behaviors with other therapies that I've listed, because like the result of, and not self-harm, that's self-injurious behavior. And a lot of preventing self-injurious behavior is preventing that amount of dysregulation. And so with other therapies, you can learn what is dysregulating the human and then find ways to regulate them. I don't know. I was almost going to be like, I could maybe see it as like an intense last resort, like you have to do this and then you have to do all the other ones because like your kid needs to stay alive first. And I'm like, if your kid is struggling to stay alive, if you're having problems keeping your child alive, I don't know. I still think you could figure it out from other therapies though. I do. There's actually 7 dimensions of ABA. Dimensions. So I'm going to read them out to you. Oh, for those who don't know also, the reason why this is so big and important is because ABA therapy is like the only autism therapy. It's like when you look up therapy for autism, ABA, it's like the only one covered by things. If it is, it's the only one that they talk about and advertise. It's the one where most autistic kids are in. I also don't really like it. I don't really agree with it. Redirecting behavior to a better behavior. It makes my PDA angry. Like I feel the rage in my body. It's so wild. Anyway, here are the things. Number 1, generalization. That's like the opposite of all the other ones. Using skills in various situations. Okay. So not specific skills. See, like, I don't like that idea. How the fuck do you do that? Like, we're autistic. What do you mean? What do you mean generic skills? 2, effective. So it works. They change the environment to make sure it works. How do you know it works? When the behavior is desirable. Technological, which means making plans digital and available to everyone, like the teachers and parents, by making the plans and stuff online. Huh, that's good. You're up with the times. I don't like this. 4, applied. That's one of the 3 of ABA. The first is applied. We're gonna have behavior and analysis be the other 2. It's applied, it's behavioral, it's analytical. Applied, implementing it in real life time. So it works in real life, not just in class, not just when you're doing ABA therapy. Conceptually systematic, bases its foundation on a collective fundamental understanding of the science behind behaviorism and behavior principles. Okay, interesting. 6, analytic. Shut up. Okay, collect data to show that the therapy worked. You analyze it to go, did this work or not? And the last one, behavioral. You observe behaviors. That's what it is. That's great. There are a lot of other therapies too. Like, I'm really interested in acupuncture. There aren't a lot of like scientific research methods about acupuncture, and so I didn't mention it, but I'm like, that's something I'm kind of interested in. Please don't do anything that I say, because I don't know nothing. Talk to your doc. But you can talk to your doctor about these things and go, I heard this from Paige, layle, actually. Have you guys done these therapies? I'm so interested to know your thoughts and your feelings. Please comment them below. Thank you guys for sticking around watching this video. If you want to support me in other ways, or if you want to get videos sooner or vote on video topics, or also have like monthly calls with me, go check out my Patreon, which is down below in the description. Also, I'm soon getting access to knowing how my book sales are doing, and I'll actually know numbers and stuff. So I haven't been looking because I've been nervous. But I think it's doing pretty well. Thank you everyone who has bought my book and who has listened to me say it out loud on an audio recording. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, peace out, Girl Scout. Love you. Love you so much. Goodbye. This is the end of the video song. This video's to tell you the video's done. If you're hearing this, it's because the video's done. Go watch another one. Boop, boop. Have a good day. Love you so much. Bye.